Back to another episode of Absolutely Fabulous. It's episode 58. And we're going to start with some chit chat. Then we're going to talk about some biosecurity. We're revisiting Rob Irwin's tourist campaign. We're going to
And don't forget Dancing with the Stars.
yes. We're going to tell you who won the giveaway.
Yep, tune in for that because I bet you're all waiting for your special prize.
Gillian sent through an article this week on a major solar farm on fire.
Yep, if shit catches on fire and then we act surprised when it goes really poorly. And we'll talk about Christmas and New Year's and what's going to happen in the New Year culture. So, yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there, for everybody?
So
Yeah.
much going on for everyone. So it'll be a nice little wrap up to today's session.
Hi, welcome to Absolutely Fabulous. My name is Gillian Fennell, also known as Station Mum 101. I love everything about agriculture, especially the people and especially communicating about what makes Australian ag so special.
And I'm Katja Williams, a beef, cattle and cropping farmer, and I love all things ag, and I'm also known as the ultimate farm wife. Together, we are absolutely fabulous, and we are talking all things agriculture beyond the headlines.
And we can't wait to give our opinion to you, and we hope you enjoy it.
So let's get into today's episode. So let's start with some chit chat. Gillian, what have you been up to this week?
Well, if you're watching on YouTube, you can tell again that I'm not at home again. This time I'm in Adelaide, my last work trip for the year, fingers crossed. Then back again next week to take my dad to the hospital because he's having a knee replacement. And it's also the Ashes. So it's going to be crazy time. So I have to drive mum and dad around in the big four-wheel drive so people pay more respect to the motor vehicle than they do a little bubble car. Yeah, that's about it. What have you been up to, Katja?
We had our annual fire shed Christmas party, which went really, really well. We've done all the tattooing for this year. So Ned has had all the cattle in the yard processing them. So tattooing is when they basically get a tattoo, but it's in their ear. So with studs, it's an identifier. So in one ear, it'll have the stud name that they were bred to, and in the other, it'll have their identifier. So for each year is assigned a letter, and then because we tag and record them as soon as they're born, they get assigned the number. So Ned ran through over 350 calves through the yards this week, tattooing them with their identifier.
So when you say tattooing, Ned doesn't sit there with a little gun going, bzzz, does he?
No, not like human tattooing. No. So it looks like a pair of pliers. So you have two sets, one with your stud in it, and that doesn't change. And then you've got the other one that has different lettering. So what you're doing is you're pulling open the ear, you're putting the ink along the ear where you're going to tattoo it, and you've got little like old printing press letters. But they've got like the needle on them, and then you're using the pliers to clamp down on the ear where you've just put that tattoo ink, and those needles on those pliers are going to put like a tattoo straight into the ear. But animals have such a different pain tolerance to what humans do, and it's not going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. So it's not like an itch or a really painful tattoo like we would get as humans. It's just going in and out. So it's even less than if you are getting vaccinations like the flu vaccination or anything like that. Like it's less than that. So they're not much.
It's more like getting your ears pierced than it is like anything like than
Oh,
an actual tattoo. I don't have any tattoos. I'm a clean skin, but my brother has a lot of tattoos, and he described it to me once as like someone dragging a hot razor blade through your skin. Why you'd willingly sign up to that, I don't know, but a lot of people do. But it's not like, and again, we've talked about this a lot, like livestock, cattle especially, they're not like humans. They've got thicker skin, they feel things differently. What we would interpret as pain, they would interpret as a nuisance.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the livestock, the cattle, they're fine. They don't, and they're calves, so they're going straight back to their mummy anyway. So they're getting all the love and attention that they require from their mother,
Yes.
and that comforts them straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting your ears pierced is a perfect analogy for it.
Yeah, because it's quick and it's over in an instant, and then they're out and back to their parents, not their parents, because you don't want them near the bull. But yeah, they're there with their mother. So, yep. So,
little milkshake and they're good to go.
Yep. So we're talking about topic number 1. We've got here Karcher on the list that you sent me. Thank you, because I did no preparation this week. Fishing is a very, very popular Australian pastime, and a lot of people will be fishing over Christmas break. You won't be doing any fishing on your Christmas holiday or post-Christmas holiday, because I don't think that would be allowed where you're going.
Not where we're going.
And so if you are going to go fishing, don't use imported bait. Why would we use imported bait? Because it's cheap and we often don't know any different. But why do you not want to use it? White spot in prawns is a really good example. Mm-hmm. A lot of these baits come in from overseas. They don't go, because they're not for human consumption as well. They're coming in as bait or pet food or whatever. They don't undergo the same scrutiny as a human food product would. Right. But then you go and you're like, I'm going to go fishing and I'm going to put this dirty old bit of bait that comes from God knows where in our nice clean river or ocean, and next thing you know, you're helping spread diseases and pests throughout our waterways. So yeah, you can buy Australian bait. You can get a tin of cat food and put that in your prawn trap, or not prawn trap, crab pots. I don't know much about it.
A seasoned fisher by the sounds of it, Gillian.
You could just not go fishing. I could think of heaps of better things to do with my time than go fishing. But if you do enjoy fishing, catch your own bait. I do believe that's a popular pastime as well. Or support the local industry where you are and buy the bait that those people are catching and putting in the bait shops. Yeah, dig up some bugs or whatever. I don't even know. What do fish even eat? I don't care. None of my business what fish do.
Nothing if I'm going fishing, because I'm not very good at catching anything.
Chuck them some bread. Jesus, I don't know.
Let's have a read of what New South Wales Biosecurity has said. Gillian has touched on a fair bit of the reasons why you shouldn't be doing it, and this is their holiday report that they've put out. Wetting a line over the holidays, protect what you love. Never use imported prawns intended for human consumption as bait. When fishing, always source your bait from a trusted supplier local to the area you intend to fish. If you catch your own bait, only use it in the water from which it came. Disposing of your prawn waste, heads and shells, in general waste, never to our waterways. Make a clean part of your routine. Wash your vehicles and gear between waterways. So that's different fishing spots. And 100%, if it is brought in for bait only, it will say that on the actual packaging. Do not eat it. It is not for you to eat.
Don't eat anything that's bait. And you know, in South Australia, I do know this, there is a disease in the oysters, which is why if you're moving from waterway to waterway or area to area, it's really important to keep your gear clean, because at the moment it's only in some areas of like the ecosystem. We don't want to spread that around to other sort of, but it's to like oyster hatcheries and those where they're breeding the baby oysters and those sorts of stuff. So that's why it's everyone's responsibility. If you enjoy eating seafood, if you enjoy eating that sort of stuff, give biosecurity the same consideration in the water as you would in the land, because everyone's working really hard to do their job. And it only takes like one inadvertent slip to sort of ruin millions of dollars worth of you know, animal products and someone's livelihood and those sorts of things. So yeah, you can just solve all that by not going fishing. Really, but you could just sit. You could go to the same destinations and just sit there and just look. You'll get the same result without having to put prawns or anything in the water. And then go to the shop and support the local fishermen or fisher people or whatever and buy your local fish. You don't need to catch it yourself. Waste of time.
Yeah. And in New South Wales, I'm not sure if it's the same as other states, but in New South Wales, if you are going on holidays and you are going fishing, please make sure you have gone to New South Wales fisheries and got your fishing license. Some bait shops and things like that, you can pay for it over the counter. You will need it on your person when you are fishing, because if you get stopped by the police or the Marine Patrol or anyone like that, you will need it on you. Otherwise, there is a fine.
And one thing I do know about fishing coming from Queensland, don't clean your fish or anything on the edge of the water in tropical North Queensland or the Northern Territory or the top of WA, because you will get taken by a crocodile.
Yeah.
And if you do that and you get taken by a crocodile, I have no sympathy for you, because it's a dumb thing to do, because they live there all the time. And, you know, you're a tasty treat. Don't encourage them to come around by cleaning your stuff in the water where the crocodiles and the sharks, the bull sharks, where they actually live. And don't go swimming in the canals on the Gold Coast either, because they're full of bull sharks.
Bull sharks.
Stay out of the water. It's a bad place, I'm telling you now.
People always wonder why so many of the houses up there, especially like around Bribie Island and all that, with the all the canals, it's like everyone has a pool because you can't swim in the canal. You can't swim in the canal. So have a think. Why would they all have pools if they're right next to the canal?
Don't go in the water. It's a bad place, I'm telling you now. Yeah. All right. So, and speaking of water and dangerous things and crocodiles, we've got Robert Irwin, little fella. He's grown up. He's doing underwear modelling now in his Bonds underpants.
Yep. What they crackers.
Which is so weird, because it's like, my kids, Bindi, his big sister, used to have a kids show on the ABC, and like it was called Bindi's Treehouse or something like that when she was little. And, you know, that's all very exciting. And he is younger than her. And then like seeing him, like, I don't need to see that. I don't need to see young people who I saw as tiny children in their underpants every time I open the internet or something. That is not, it's unacceptable. I just don't enjoy it at all. But he's proving to be a really good ambassador for Australia, because I think the Irwin family, they're just genuine, sort of really nice, down-to-earth sort of people. Like Steve, his dad, was a legend. If you don't know anything about Steve Irwin, like you're not, that's un-Australian, like leave the country. I swear to God.
Or please do some research.
It should be on this. We talk about, you know, Australian values and citizenship tests and all these sorts of things. It should be, do you know who Steve Irwin is and what was his catch cry? You know, if you can't answer those two things, then your citizenship denied. Get out, go home. But he is, and I think he's just, the Americans are just fascinated with him, because and they were fascinated with Steve as well, because they've never encountered that sort of self-deprecating humor. No one takes themselves too seriously. And it's a very Australian trait, and they just cannot fathom it. And so they think it's amazing. And he's won Dancing with the Stars, and it was really emotional because he's a nice kid and his mum's American. And it's just like, apparently there's big controversy over it being rigged and everything. But yeah, we spoke earlier, like on one of our other episodes, about the campaign that he was doing and everything else. But again, we're not the target market because we already live here. But it seems like it's working. But I don't know, do we want more Americans here, Katja? Like, are they our target market?
I don't know if you're in my target market, but there are definitely Australian tourism. But what the ad did also do is it was proving to be one of the best Australian ambassador ads since Paul Hogan, and it is bringing in great interaction and even more trips being booked through the tourism system from the US, the UK, Germany, Japan, India, and China. So it is a well-hitting ad across many, many countries, which is one of the talking points that we spoke about when we talked about the ad a couple of episodes ago. I'm going to link that in the show notes below. So go back and have a listen and see whether our predictions came true on that one.
And I did also find out, because I took Eleanor and her little friends to the movies the other day to see Zootopia 2. We had never seen Zootopia 1, but that doesn't really matter. There wasn't much of a plot to follow. So Robert Irwin is also a character in Zootopia 2, a koala, obviously, called Robert Furwin. So it was really fascinating because like Eleanor and her friends had never had anything to do with Robert Irwin except for what they may have seen on TV or YouTube or whatever, but they recognized his voice instantly.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, is it? I don't care. But it just goes to show that he's very recognizable, like his father was, like his sister was, and they are great ambassadors for Australia. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I enjoy the diversity as well in what he's doing. It must be a lot of fun to be hosting TV shows, to be going on reality shows himself, doing work at the zoo, doing all their wildlife rescue, non-for-profit efforts as well. Everything.
Wrestling crocodiles.
Very well-rounded.
Stuff. Yeah. It'd be great fun. Like the crocodiles I could take or leave. My favourite, I think, memory of Steve Irwin is they came to Central Australia. Like I saw this on the TV. They weren't actually at our place, but they were in Central Australia. And Terry was driving. They were in a little, like a Hilux, single cab Hilux, busted ass thing. And Steve was latched onto the outside of the Hilux, hanging onto the door frame and standing on the side step, chasing camels. And Terry managed to wipe him off on a tree. So... And he just rolled out of the dirt and said it was so exciting and cried. And they got back into the chase. And I don't know what his plan was. Like, yeah, if he actually caught up with these camels. But yeah, that pretty much sums up the man himself. So
absolute legend. And well done, Robert. You would be making your dad super proud.
Definitely.
Wonderful.
Now,
so we have a giveaway. So last week you would have heard us on the podcast talking about Tony's brand new Australian rom-com book. She's a first-time author. It is the book that is set in Queensland. It is about a chopper pilot and it is a friends to lover romance. I'm about 2/3 through the book. I'm absolutely loving it. It is just a lot of a great Australian humour and a really nice story. So we've been sent 2 copies by Tony. We've done an unboxing over on social media as well, so go across and have a look at that. Tony has put together the most amazing, very detailed, very well thought through gift boxing. You can either get the book just by itself or you can get it in a gift box either for yourself or for someone else. So go across and have a look at those. To get into the giveaway, you needed to be a subscriber to our newsletter. That link is always in the show notes. It is also in our bios over on social media, and you can also find it as a link on many of our posts. So you needed to be a subscriber. You needed to be following Tony and us on socials and tick all those 3 off. So
dun, 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 drum roll.
While I'm doing the random selection, Gillian, I also want to put in that we have an incredible audience because our open rate on our emails are over 60%, which is quite high for a newsletter and email list.
And I must say, because I also get the email, I never open it. So I'm one of the 40%. But I do think it's a little redundant that I open the email, seeing as how like I'm part of what made the email happen. Not just this, but also through the Harvest Air Power Conference, which is coming up. Early bird tickets are available right now. If you don't know what to get anyone for Christmas, get them a ticket. Because do you know what else, Katja? I need a replacement for the conference. I need a stand-in. I can't make it. Initially, I was going to be with Eleanor taking her to school, but of my it's actually my uni graduation. So Eleanor's not going to school that week because I'm graduating from university, which is kind of a big deal. So we will be at my uni grad when the conference is on. So we will be running another promotion, and you need to listen to the podcast to get the opportunity. I will be sponsoring some travel costs and a ticket to go to the Harvester Power Conference and be my mini-me and to make sure the conference is well represented on social media and to take lots of selfies with everyone and to just have a great time. So, yeah.
We can't wait to finish putting that all together and do that. That will be in the new year because this is going to be the last episode we're recording for 2025.
It will be, yeah. So if you're listening to this and you want an opportunity to be my mini-me, keep an eye on the socials. Make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. Make sure you open it and read it. And make sure you keep an eye on what's happening, because the details on that will be early in the new year. Right, who won the prizes? Who won the prizes?
So congratulations to Kate L and Kerry M. Your books will be sent to you. We will be in contact with you soon for your address. Thank you so much.
And now you don't have to go fishing. You can read a book.
Such a better pastime. And Merry Christmas from Gillian, myself, and Tony. Make sure you're following Tony on socials to see what next with her books and what else is coming up. She's also, I believe, doing a book tour, so keep an eye out for that.
Take your book along, or are they signed? If they're not signed, make sure you look up the book tour and go and get them signed and get it to say, I won this, thank you, absolutely fabulous Harvest Her Power, Ultimate Farm Wife, Kartra and Jill. Get her to write all of that. But if it is already signed, we'll go along anyway and get your photo taken with her, because it's a nice memento, because it's not every day you get to meet an author, and authors are super cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. I think they might be signed, because my copy was signed.
Oh, well, they probably signed, because what sort of an author really doesn't send out books to people without signing them? But that would be something I'd do. I would intend to do it and then forget, and then just wrap it up, and I wouldn't even wrap it up. I'd just chuck it in a post bag and go, here you go, job's right.
So the reason we don't know is because if you're not watching the video podcast, Tony has wrapped them
beautifully wrapped. If you've ever received anything from me, if you've been an Ag Fab of the week or you've got a merch pack, you will know that they're not beautifully wrapped. They are in a receptacle, but I have not bothered to wrap them. And any sort of preparation has been done by my 10-year-old. So thank yourself. Thank your lucky stars that you've received it at all. You're very blessed.
It's done a lot of travel time to get to you.
Stuff's on fire, Katja. It happens in Australia all the time, and it seems like we don't acknowledge the fact that things are going to catch on fire. Solar farm caught fire. It was near Dubbo. That's why I sent it to you, because, because I thought you might have seen it. You could have driven out there and taken a bit of footage. I don't even, like it says near Dubbo, it could be 100 kilometres away for all I know.
I'd better click on the link.
But there's been a major fire at a solar farm near Dubbo, and we've had solar panels catch on fire. Well, not sort of catch on fire, but be affected by fire. And it is a big deal because shit melts.
Yes.
And there's a lot of technology in the back of those solar panels and in those cables and all those sorts of things that don't just melt at fire, they get a heat affected and all those sorts of things, and they don't last, whatever. But this is the thing, when things like solar panels and that become compromised, that's when they do start to leak out the things that are all inside them. And it's generally not a problem because they're sealed, and modern solar panels, if they're treated appropriately, they should remain sealed, but then they get compromised like this. So this is what farmers have concerns about, that these incidents happen. Mm-hmm. Repairs are made to the wiring components and all that sort of thing, so the panels remain operational, but they're not replaced. And so they're compromised from the heat. They might have micro cracks in them that we can't even see with the naked eye. And then they start to leach their internal whatever into the soil, which is then dispersed by water flow and all those sorts of things. And that happens with anything. It's not specific to renewable energy projects, but we are constantly told that it's safe, don't worry about it, it's not going to affect your farmland that's next door, et cetera, et cetera. And this is the greater problem, because we're told constantly that farmers are anti-renewables because we just love coal and gas and all that sort of stuff, but we are concerned that no one's looking at the hazards and risks in a way that is satisfactory to us. And I think this comes down to our multi-generational attachment to land. Whereas anything new, mining, renewable energy, roads, whatever, they are built and then people move on. They're not there to suffer the consequences of what's happened. Yet generally landholders have held that land for a very, very long time, and they intend to hold it for a long time. So if there's any legacy issues, they are going to be the ones to suffer the consequences of that. And I don't think that is given enough consideration when these things are approved, or even risk management plans or anything like that are established. So it's it's not that we're anti renewables. It's just like we don't think you're having the whole conversation. We don't want to see dig up more coal or whatever or burn more gas. We want to make sure that in 100 years' time, our land is still going to be fit for purpose. And hopefully that thing there is still going to be producing energy like it's supposed to. And that's all we want, because we can see that far in the future. We don't think in 4-year funding cycles. We don't think in, you know, we don't even think in 20-year time. We think in 50, 100, 150 years. Like, what are our great grandkids going to be doing on this land? How is it going to look? How's it going to work? And the way that it's, no one acknowledges and appreciates that. And that's what sort of, I guess, makes me the angriest about this discussion, argument, whatever you want to call it. Because we're just, it's so easy to say, you're just anti-renewables. It's like, no, you're not taking our concerns into consideration. And they're like, it's safe. We've tested it. But you haven't tested it under every circumstance. And someone else made the comment today, because I didn't even think about it, but so all the solar panels and that sit on galvanized steel frames, which is, you have to galvanize everything. But once galvanizing is burnt or heated up, it falls off.
Yep.
So now all of those, because the fire went underneath all the solar panels, so all of that galvanized framing is now compromised. So does that shorten the life of that solar installation? Because we know panels have a limited lifespan. I think it's 20 to 25 years at the moment. So, the plan would have been to remove those panels and replace them with new. But now, does that mean that they're going to have to remove all those groundworks and replace them with new as well? Like, no one seems to think this stuff through. But if we were building a fence, or if we were building a set of cattle yards, we would have thought that through. Yet our expertise is deemed to be irrelevant in these conversations. And I think that's what pisses me off the most. So we do have lived experience of all this stuff, but, no, you don't know what you're talking about because you're just anti-renewables. It's like, no, we just want you to think it through. We know what we're talking about.
It's one of those things where they think, well, farming's not relevant because this is construction. This is big commercial construction. It has nothing to do with agriculture, where the skill set is actually very transferable. And I think this also goes back into a debate where we've had previously before on the podcast, and that is that they're not thinking long term, because several of our listeners wrote in after we discussed the different renewable energies, specifically the wind turbines, and what happens to these solar panels when they are removed. Everyone goes, they've got to be changed out. But what happens to them? So we shared some pictures on our socials of turbine and plane and solar panel graveyards. And people were like, why is this not part of the conversation? Because not only do we need to be talking about the leaching into the soil at the farm, but you now also need to add into the discussion, well, why are we doing this to our deserts? And most people go, well, there's nothing in the desert. It's just hot and it's sand. But if you have actually been to a desert, then you will find that that is 100% not correct. The wildlife and the native animals in the deserts, whether that is Australia, whether that is in any other country, there is wildlife. There is life that lives in the desert. And
very specific fragile ecosystems, because I live in a desert.
Yeah.
And they're a very, very fragile ecosystem in the sense that any sort of long-term disruption, such as, I don't know, maybe digging a big hole and burying a heap of wind turbines in them.
Yeah.
Because you're disturbing that, because, once you disturb the surface layer where all the beneficial microbes and everything live, and you turn that over, if you're not putting it back in the exact, there's none to be no ground cover. You are making it worse. Like, literally, you are making it so much worse. But it's like, out of sight, out of mind. We'll go and stick that up there. It's just, but the same people who say, let's build more wind turbines, they also want to protect the deserts. But they don't think that no one's thinking this shit through. And we talked about how do you recycle a solar panel, and it can be done, but it's really, really expensive. And this is a frustrating thing. We have the technology, so why not invest in that research and development as well to make sure that we can, cost efficiently recycle this at the end of life. The same goes to the wind turbines. I know wind turbines, I'm not a fan of them because, like, apparently they're all efficient and this and that and everything else, but they have an end of life too, and they are a massive, massive piece of construction. Like a solar panel, I can get around because it's right there. It has have a lot of renewable components with regards to you can recycle the steel frame. There's a lot of you
They're
can recycle.
stackable.
Yeah, you can, you can whatever. Uh, if you've ever seen a wind farm under construction, like you have got no idea the size and scale of those things, and then they wear out, and you're not like it's. I don't think people who've never seen one cannot comprehend the size of the footings, the concrete
Massive.
footings, the size, like it's just like the size of the blades, like, and then what do you do with it? Because they're made out of stuff that you can't readily recycle. But no one's investigating how to do it either. Like no one's coming up with new and innovative technologies to recycle this stuff. It's like, oh, we'll just chuck it in the desert. The next thing will be like, oh, we'll just chuck it in the ocean and make a reef out of it. Like they're already building wind turbines in the ocean. I'm not a fan of the ocean, but honest to God, we mess up enough of the stuff on the land. So can we just please leave the sea alone?
Yeah.
Like,
leave it
you
alone.
cannot contain shit in the sea. Like you can't build a fence around it. You can't build a ditch around it to contain stuff. You can't pour some cement on it to keep it inert. Leave the bloody ocean alone.
I think it's very much being treated like, well, that's not our problem. Like that will be someone else's problem. So we'll let them deal with it when they need to instead of thinking in advance. And like, so one of the towns near me has just fought off the Sydney dumping. So the Sydney dumping wanted to dump all their stuff here.
Yep.
Parks Forbes is still fighting it. Because what people don't understand is why should we in the country be disposing of your rubbish in the cities? Again, out of sight, out of mind. They're not thinking about how much traction that's going to be on the roads and how that's going to damage it. The fuel and everything that it takes to actually get it here. And then there are farms over 100 kilometres either side of that now dumping site, which have now gone down in value. They will have to get annual chemical testing from possible leaching or any of that. There's no compensation for the testing. There's no compensation for if the crop is damaged and contaminated. And they're just moving the problem around. How about we start looking at more people not using single-use containers? Let's look at actually their facility and how they need to put that back on the people who are contributing to that.
And this is the disparity, I think, because agriculture specifically, we are told you must reduce your emissions, you must reduce your waste, and they're like it's policy, it's legislation, it's this and that. And we're doing a lot of hard work, and we understand it's because we have control of a lot of Australia's land mass, and that's where things are going to be abated. But where's the same policies and restrictions on people who live in the city? Because agriculture, like it's called an industry, but we are a collection of individual businesses. So where's the same restriction on all the, I don't know, pick an industry? Where's all the carpenters? Okay, so where did they do they have to be carbon neutral? Like how do they offset their emissions? Like where's the policy guiding the carpentry industry? Where is the policy imposing limits on the plumbers or the hairdressers? Or like it is the disparity between these types of things, and it's simply because those people have votes and we do not.
Yeah. And I think also going back into the conversation of where we started, which was this solar farm on fire, and that would be that nobody's talking about the chemicals that are released into the air and how that actually transfers and how that spreads and what that broader impact is, not only on people around near where that fire is happening, but further afield. And what's that happening to the ecosystem? Usually you would hear a lot more about things like that if it's a actual chemical warehouse or if it's some sort of warehouse in Sydney, say if it was a Costco warehouse in Sydney.
To stay inside and shut your windows and doors and all those sorts of things. And these installations are built in rural and regional areas where there is a greater risk to nature and to the broad environment, because it might be within the reach of a national park or something like that, where there is a great deal of biodiversity, and there's not biodiversity on farms and everything as well, and also the potential to contaminate food and fiber production. But it's an out of sight, out of mind mentality. Like, oh, well, my air conditioner still works, so I don't give a shit how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it is not the individual's responsibility. Like, the government's there. This is their job to think through all these things. They have very many bureaucrats whose sole purpose in life is to troubleshoot, and yet none of them seem to think it through. And it's just mind-blowing.
I think it's also really interesting where, where they're testing a lot of the atmosphere and the air quality is in cities. And, with moving the rubbish and tips and processing plants and solar farms out into rural areas, you will see a correlation in their data and their testing to be like, well, our air quality is getting better. But isn't that interesting that they're either not testing out here or that our air quality is getting worse?
Yeah, funny that. And it's the same sort of thing, like, oh, temperatures have gone up and et cetera, which is fine. I accept that temperatures are going up. But also, let's look at where some of those measurement sites are. So when those installations first went in 100 years ago in their little wooden box out the back of the post office, that was fine. But over the years, great big concrete cities have gone up all around them. And as we know, concrete's a heat sink and that cuts the breeze and all those sorts of things. So, of course, you're going to get distorted temperature readings.
Mm-hmm.
And the bomb of the $96 million website fame has said, oh, we've got an algorithm and we do this and it works and takes all that out of consideration. I do not trust a word that comes out of their mouth, to be completely honest. The bomb is... they have ruined any shred of credibility they may have, because everyone always made jokes about the weatherman and can't predict this. They're all a bunch of liars. Like, I'm really sorry if you work at the bomb, your boss is shit, and they have ruined your reputation completely. I'm really sorry for you. Go and work for someone else.
So what's a weather site that you use on farm? Do you use a weather site where you're trying to predict work, like when you're going to have your muster or anything like that? Do you look at the weather incoming, or that's the week you're going to do it?
We just do it. If it's going to be far too hot, we will pause for a day or start like super early in the morning and then pause during the middle of the day and then go back to work, because especially in summer, because the sun doesn't go down till 9 o'clock. The more important is like things that can actually be measured, and that's the wind, especially if Mark's going to fly. Yeah. But when it comes to actually, so Mark will check 5 or 6 different sites and sort of take an average, because again, there's no monitoring. Our closest weather station is Alice Springs.
Yep.
And the other one's at Woomera. So Alice Springs is about 450 kilometres away. Woomera is about the same. Like, that's, who would know? Like,
huge.
The centre of Australia is a mystery to everybody. So we've never relied on the bomb for prediction services. They are, once upon a time, I did have great stock in their historical records, but now not so much, because we've got an algorithm that can figure all that out, and we've adjusted all that. And you cannot even keep track of how much you're spending on a freaking website. Don't tell me you've got an algorithm. You're full of shit.
And we have on property weather units, and our hay contractor who comes in and helps us, he's amazing, and he has his own weather gear. And so we're actually testing, not only, we don't just test in the center of the paddock where we're going to do that. We will test a couple of sites on farm as well, but definitely make sure that we've got a weather station in the paddock when we're going to cut. So that way we don't have to rely on anyone else's, because otherwise Ned has like 5 different sites and he will check all 5 and then take an average, especially when we're predicting hay cut.
Inversions and those sorts of things, when you're talking about chemical application and that sort of stuff, like that is so crucially important. And that is why people are moving to doing it themselves, because at least they can rely and trust that data, and it's immediately local. Like BOM really missed they're too busy scratching around with the website and making algorithms to account for climate change readings on weather stations for the last 150 years to look ahead to the future. I think they got all caught up in the climate change madness and forgot about what their job is to monitor and help predict the weather so people can do their job safely.
I
Yeah,
think you nailed that. I think it's definitely they have forgotten who they're for, what they are, their purpose is.
And it's in every organisation, like, what is your core business? Your core business is not to scratch around in 150-year-old records, because people can debate that and they'll manipulate that data and do what they're going to do with it. We have a pressing need right now to be able to predict and model the future. And yes, past data comes into that, but Jesus Christ, this is one of those things where you don't need to really look 150 years into the future, because if we can't spray tomorrow, or plan for a potential drought event or a flood event or potential fire season like next week, then what's the good of you? Like, may as well not have a bomb. It's crazy.
Might as well go back to using a weather rock. Is the rock wet?
Yeah.
Is there snow on the rock?
Might as well just continue to make your own arrangements, and then bomb goes, oh, well, no one's using the website because it's shit. Because you have the wrong information, not because it needed $96 million spent on it. You just keep making it worse. But anyway, enough about them, because they're not going to change, because they had keep doubling down and saying, oh, no, it's the best website ever, and that money was 100% justified. But next year, Katja, we've got some big things happening next year. You have got a potential project on your hands. So we're going to change.
Potential projects.
You have many projects, and you've got the conference early next year. And so we're going to change the way we do things a little bit. And I think we've had a few discussions, we've had a few chats, and we've got a few ideas. So I guess this is the opportunity for the ag fabs who listen to us. If you've got any ideas as to how you'd like the show to progress next year, what do you want to hear more of or less of? Because you will be hearing less of us together at the same time, so we can manage our workload a bit more. So if you want us to talk about our areas of expertise individually or with other people, or do you guys want to come on and have a go? We will teach you to be podcast hosts. We're very generous with our knowledge, and we're very easy to get along with. What do you guys want? Let us know. Tell us. Send us an email. Give us some love on social media. We're quite happy to be flexible.
Absolutely. And with that, this is your reminder for the Harvester Power. Early bird tickets are on sale, and they are on sale until January 31st. If we sell out from early bird tickets, then we sell out. If you're wanting more information on the conference, then make sure you head over to Harvest Her Power on Instagram or onto the event page. That'll be linked in the description below, as well as the website. There are always updates going up over on the event space and on the website, so keep an eye for that.
We've got our fundraiser coming up.
Yes.
Tickets for that are on sale too. 6th session with Dr. Lucy Newsom from UNE. So it is on the 16th of December. So if you don't know what to get your in-laws for Christmas, buy the material.
Oh, no. Yes, do it.
Buy your in-laws a ticket to this webinar.
It is a fundraising for the Harvest Her Power Conference. It is Farm Succession and the Forgotten Women. So join us for an engaging and interactive online webinar with Dr. Lucy Newsom, researcher lecturer in management and economics, to discuss her thought-provoking paper, The Dreaded Daughter-in-Law. We covered this as our very first article here on the podcast just over 12 months ago. So we are so excited.
Dangerous animal on the farm. Don't let me forget to wear my T-shirt, my most dangerous animal on the farm T-shirt to the webinar.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's going to be great. Oh, and you've got big news too, Katja. 100 episodes of The Ultimate Farm Wife.
Yes, I'm so excited about that. I still don't know how I'm going to be celebrating it. So please, guys, jump on the socials. Let me know. I think I might end up doing something early in the new year. So let me know what you'd like to do. I'll put something together for that, because 100 episodes in podcasting is massive. Most people don't get past not what are we? We're what do we say? 58, and we're
Archer,
well
Archer,
past.
cover your ears for a minute and don't listen to this when you edit. Cover your ears. Everybody, what are we going to do for Karcher to celebrate 100 episodes? Let me know. Contact me via Twitter or Instagram. Don't send any emails because Karcher reads them. So tell me what we can do for Karcher to celebrate 100 episodes. Okay, we need to do something big for her because that's pretty amazing achievement. All right, you can uncover it. You can uncover them
Oh,
now.
okay. I didn't know if the hands were part of.
Yeah, I was
your
for those of you
discussion.
who are listening to this magnificent episode, I was waving at Karcher through the camera. So if you're watching on YouTube, that's what was happening. You bunch of weirdos. I don't know why you'd watch it on YouTube, but anyway.
I love YouTube. I live over there. So that's why we're on there as well. So thank you so much, everybody. That 100 episode by the time you listen to this, it will be live. It is where the microphone has been turned. So one of the biggest changes that I did with the Ultimate Farm Wife this year was bring in an editor. So Krista DePathrath interviews me for that. She's an incredible woman. She knows lots of amazing women in agriculture, not only in Australia, but Canada and US, because she edits all their podcasts as well, which is how we connected. So go across, listen to that. And if you want to hear Jillian's and my voice while we take a break for the Christmas, then you can head over to that platform, but also stay tuned over on the Harvest to Power socials because that's where we'll be hanging out as well. We're very easy to find on social media, either on our own profiles or keep interacting with us on here. We've got a backlog of 57 episodes, guys. So head back, have a listen to those if you miss us, and we look forward to seeing you in the new year. Please look after yourselves, be safe, and have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.